Planet X.
New here, and today we are going to be talking about The Legend of Mana Remaster that was recently announced for the Nintendo Direct. And today I have a guest with me, my friend, Par.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, so we are going to be talking about things that are, well, first we're going to be talking about the changes that they did do with the remaster, and then we're going to talk about some things that they could do to make it better, and maybe even talk about some things that if they were to make a remake, an actual remake, in about 15 years or so, what would make that better? So, are you ready, Par? Well, actually, I know you're ready.
Never been more ready.
Okay, so first, some graphical changes. The ratio is now 16 by 9 aspect ratio. How do you feel about that?
Oh, come on, there's nothing to feel about that. It's just, I gotta update it to this century's what is it, resolution standard. Yeah, that.
Mm-hmm. For me, cool. That's it. The UI and text font changes, I mean, really, I guess.
I can't lie, it was a little bit grainy playing it on the PS1, but that's part of the
Mm-hmm.
PS1 experience, alright? You
I
don't
mean, what
struggle to
was
see.
Mm-hmm. You had to struggle. The experience.
Exactly, it's part of the experience.
That should be their tagline. PlayStation 1. The struggle experience.
It
The
was
struggle
bad, come on.
the struggle to see experience. Newly rearranged original soundtrack.
Okay. I am a gigantic fan of the whole soundtrack for Legend of
Mm-hmm.
Mana, so I really hope they did it justice. That's
I also like the music in Legend of Mana. Um, I don't know what to say. I don't really care
oh wait, about the soundtrack.
about the rearranged. It's nice. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know.
I think that might actually be my favorite change. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe once I hear it, well, I guess we heard a little bit in the trailer, but I guess once I hear it, I'll feel differently. I don't know. Maybe because the way I play games is different. Like I listen to the music, but then sometimes when I'm playing, I'm like, I just want to listen to something else. So I don't know. It may be me. There's very little game OSTs that I go out of my way to listen to. But this one is one of the games that I do go out of my way to listen to.
I think for me, it's a lot of nostalgia value that I gain from what is it, listening to this music. Things like Geo. I don't remember the Penguin Cave, amazing soundtrack.
See, I don't have nostalgia. I actually had this game as a kid, lost it, so I don't have nostalgia for it. Yeah, my cousin gave it to me, and then I played it for like a second, got lost, and then lost the game.
I actually borrowed mine from a friend and never returned it. Don't tell him.
Wow.
Sean, if you're still out there, I still have your copy of Legend of Mana.
What a great friend. Okay,
Yeah.
moving on. Okay, so this was a big one for me when I found this out. Turning off and on enemy encounters.
Fantastic. Ooh.
So before I knew about this, I kind of was thinking about changes that would be really nice in the game, and for me it was teleporting spots. Now I know that there's a big purple dinosaur thing that can teleport you around, but it doesn't teleport you back to the beginning all the time, I believe. Does it?
Um, I
I know
think it
some
does actually.
it does every time.
I believe so.
Are they in every dungeon?
They're not in every dungeon. That's the big deal.
Okay. Okay. So this is a great alternative.
Oh yeah, it's
Um
fantastic.
I don't know if you were there, but like while streaming and trying to either talk to a certain person at a certain point of the dungeon or just getting through there, or whatnot, or the little troll guy who lives in a cave.
Oh, yeah, the Dud Bears, right?
Um,
You're talking about Watts.
Watts. Getting to his little home, you have to fight moles.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just one battle, but like after a while, it's like, why am I fighting these things again? And there's no way to run from battles.
Yeah. And I think the worst part is every time you reload a map, the encounters respawn too.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just trying to explore through a map and see, like, you're trying to farm some monster eggs or something. See what what is it?
That
Where some
too.
spirits are to pick up. You gotta fight every single mob, and you want to respawn them. Fight more mobs.
Yep. Who knew Legend of Mana was about fighting the mob? Moving on. New gallery mode and music mode. Now, how do you feel about this?
And don't get me wrong. The what is it? The art in this game, fantastic. The music, you already know how I feel about that. I don't think the game needed a mode for it.
Actually, it was already in the original game, but you can only access that once you have cleared the game once. But this time you could just access it, you know, from the beginning.
Alright. I mean, changes nothing then.
Basically. This one I think is pretty hot. Save anywhere and auto save function. Now I don't think this game needs auto save.
I agree.
In my opinion. I mean, there are like 2 dungeons that I can think of that like you can get lost in or something like that. Or whatever.
Actually, but I'd rather not auto save in this game.
Actually, and we'll get to that later, of why I don't want autosave with something that happened on stream that, like, literally, all the people who played this game before, it has never happened to them, and if I had autosave, I'd have been screwed. But yeah, saving anywhere is really nice. I really think that being in the underworld and in that castle place, those are the 2 dungeons that I think are really long, in my opinion. I would like to save and like put the game down and be like, you know, maybe I'll do the rest another day. Yeah. And now moving on to the Ring Ring LAN minigame.
I mean,
now it has
keep on this one because I don't know about it yet.
I don't know about it either, but here it says that it makes rare items that are hard to obtain easier to get through with this minigame. I mean, it's nice.
It is.
Because
you don't know what kind of rare items yet. I think that might be the issue.
Yeah, I want to know which rare items. I do remember having to farm some rare items to like craft stuff. I'm gonna talk about crafting later. But just to make some stuff and having to like run around the map and trying to figure out which enemies drop it and whatnot. I mean, it's nice, but it depends on how well it works. And that is all for the changes that we know. Oh, also,
talk about the redrawn character art.
Oh,
I mean,
1 second.
Like
1 second. But it is coming to the PlayStation 4 and Steam.
Oh, really?
Which I think is really nice because I want to play this game with a friend. I don't know how the multiplayer will be for this one, but I know in the original, if you have a second save data, you can add another character in. And I believe if you connect your controller, the player 2 could play as the NPCs that join you. And
I don't know if they could play as the NPCs that join you specifically. Maybe they can. Maybe I'm stupid. But I know if you talk to the house, you can load a second player in, and their NPC from another game will join you, and you can actually just adventure together.
Okay. Well, you know, if you're listening to this, tell us in the comment section. There we go. But yeah, I was kind of worried a little bit because, you know, Nintendo Internet is basically the definition of you get what you pay for.
I mean, do you
And
though?
I don't know. At this point, I don't know. But yeah, I didn't want to like to play a game and then have to struggle through it while trying to play with someone else. So
The only thing that actually, well, I don't even know if that would be a problem with Nintendo's internet. Neither player can move off the screen further than the main character can go.
okay. Well, I never tried it, so
Oh, really? Okay.
no. I played the game differently. It's very hard to play multiplayer with that. But let's move on to things that we would change. Now, I have a list of things written down here. Again, some things are pertaining to the remake, and then I have some things that are written down for every. Wait, did I just say remake? Rolling back. Some things for the remaster, and I have some things if this game were to get a remake in X amount of years. First thing I have is custom character customization.
Okay, yeah, that'd be a great idea. And even if it's something minor, like
Yeah.
just changing the skin tone, like the outfit, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
the color that they wear, that would be good enough for me.
Yeah. Even if they didn't want to, even if it was still going to be a remaster, well, which it is, just having like palette swaps or something like that,
Yeah,
fine,
that's-
whatever. But if they actually were going to do a remaster, I would want a dedicated character customization, because this character really don't do much, like whatever. Also,
It wouldn't be a big change.
yeah. Also, costumes, like to dress up like a dud bear or something like that. I don't know, something funny. I only brought that up because of Tales of Berseria, when you know you can have Velvet and the rest of the team dress up as these little. I don't even know what they are because I don't know that much about Tales of series. But yeah, I just think it's really funny when they're having like a serious moment and she's dressed up as this rabbit thing. I don't know. I think it's hilarious in my eyes. And this game has its funny moments as well.
Oh, definitely.
So why not? Pedaling back to what you said about the art in the game, the first thing that I noticed when I seen the trailer is that the female's face looks different and not in a good way.
Really? Hold on, let me take a look.
Yeah, she kind of resembles the fairies from Ocarina of Time. You know, the fairy women. It's her original art, it was nothing wrong with it in my eyes. But if you look at her face in the trailer, I think it's the big red lips for me.
Wait, what?
It's the red lip for me, sis.
Okay. You're gonna... Am I not looking at the right page?
Not
I see what you mean now. Yeah,
you see it, right?
Yep. Oh man, yeah, I definitely see that great fairy energy right there in that picture.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It made me feel uncomfortable. That's the first thing I noticed when I see it. Like, what was that the direction?
Yeah, I don't know.
Other than that, I have no issues with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that big of a change.
I can ignore it. At least the sprite doesn't look like that.
Oh, that's what I was looking at. I thought they messed with the sprite.
The sprite, she just has giant big lips like Mr. Potato Head.
I'd rather not think about that.
The mental image. Anyways, moving on to weapon text.
Oh, wait, they changed weapon text?
No, they did not.
Oh, what a shame.
But something that I would have them approve upon is, do they even let the player know how to get the weapon text?
No, they don't.
Because I remember, again, while streaming, a viewer just coming by and saying, here, do these inputs and see what happens. And I put it in and I start learning text and whatnot. I'm like, this is awesome. Why is there no one in the game to tell me that this is a thing? Like, I know text exists because I can, equip them a couple on once you first get a weapon, but I didn't know that there were more, and there's a whole grocery list more.
Oh yeah, there are a ton of them.
So I understand letting the player do what they want and like just, go into the world and figure it out. But if there's a function in the game that you're just not telling me about, what's the point of putting it in the game?
I agree. There's a lot more of those later though, but we'll get there when we get there.
So yeah, I would say at least have like a person in a city tell you, hey, if you do this, you'll get some more text or whatever. I don't know.
I wouldn't even say a person. That's the kind of thing that should just be on a start menu. You open up start and tell you, hey, you're this far away from learning a certain tech. You'd think that'd be there, but it's just
that would be. But listen, Har. They're so 2008, and you're so. Wait, I did it wrong. No, you're 3008, and they're 2008. There we go. Okay, so, moving down, where to place artifacts?
That's a big issue. Oh man.
That is a huge issue, because when you first boot up the game, you're like, okay, this is cool. I'm just gonna put things wherever. I've watched a lot of reviews on this game after I finished playing it, and a lot of people who have played this as kids and, actually went through a walkthrough to do a review of the game, there has been parts that they never even knew existed. I mean, whole ass sections that they never even knew existed in the game. And I think if they gave you, I don't know, not directly tell you, because I don't want them to be like here, but to like suggest you like, give you like little suggestions like, hey, if you place it here, this side quest will progress, and then this one will stop for X amount of time, or just stop completely.
I don't know. I feel like all side quests should always be accessible. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I
know
agree
that
too.
There are like certain paths that you're gonna go down that would make other side quests inaccessible. Like, what is it? Taking Elazul's quest when you go into Domino for the first time. And if you go down that path, then I don't remember exactly which one it is you can't take. If you take that one.
Mm-hmm.
But that's different. That's like a branching story. That's a different thing. But like the side quests that bear no weight on the story should always be accessible, and that's just not the way it is in this game, and I don't see why.
I also, this goes into the next thing, think that there should be like an objectives option that tells you like, hey, you're at this point of that certain quest. So like if you were to pick up the game again, you'd be like, okay, I'm here. Or okay, I need to go there.
Okay, I guess that's not bad to happen.
I'm just trying to make it so that you don't have to have your eyes glued to a walkthrough.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I've...
Okay.
What happened? What do you think?
No. It's a different topic entirely.
Okay. I mean, I just think having a walkthrough is nice for like if you want to 100% the game, or is there like little things, but like to actually know about like a big section in the game, like I don't know. Well, we're gonna move on to pets.
Oh, hold on. I wanted to add to the whole artifact thing.
Go ahead.
What is it? Placing artifacts in specific spots for spirit energy?
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't be a thing.
Well, that's how you get the mana tree, right?
Yes, but how would someone know to do this? For a
Yeah.
game that what is it? If you noticed how they advertised the game immediately, they had advertised it by saying build your own world. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if you're following a walkthrough to put the pieces on the board to get your
You're not
maximum
building your
area,
own world. You're building the world that they want you to.
exactly. That's how I feel about
Okay.
it. So that idea should just be scrapped.
Feel like they put a little bit too much on their plate, and now things are starting to crumble.
I don't think. Yeah, I'd say so. There are too many hidden mechanics.
Yeah, too many hidden mechanics, and for a first-time player, and I've said this on stream before, where if you're playing this game for the first time, don't do a walkthrough. Just play it as is, and then second playthrough, do a walkthrough and see everything that you missed. Because it might be a lot.
It might be. It's gonna be a ton.
You're gonna be like, wow, this game was 5 hours. Oh wow, this game is actually 60 hours. It's like, I don't know how long this game is.
Not 60.
That's too much. Yeah. Okay, so pets. Being told which like fruits or meats affect the pet's stats.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
that's at minimum what should be done for pets. There's so much more that needs to be done for them.
oh well, go ahead.
EXP is the biggest thing. I gotta
Yes.
sit there and wait for my pet to hopefully jump his lazy ass into the crystals so that he may scrounge up some experience points from the battle I put myself through. Why? Just let me split the EXP with my pet.
And luckily, I was told by people, and I looked it up, that there's a ring that you get during the game. I'm pretty sure, you always get it, where you can craft it to share EXP throughout everyone, like all of your allies. So I was, had the privilege of knowing that. But a first-time player wouldn't.
Yeah,
They'd be like,
never know that.
why is my dragon not doing anything?
What was the other thing? Pet AI is also really stupid.
Yeah, it does get better when you feed them the right things, but if you don't know what that is,
I mean,
without looking through a walkthrough, because like after a while, the dragon that I had, actually, it was okay. Now, I did have a really super powerful weapon, so I didn't have to do too much, but it was okay. And it's very easy for you to feed them the wrong thing, and then they're just sitting there.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I don't feel like at any point in any game where you have a pet, your pet should be sitting there, wandering around, doing absolutely nothing, and attacking the air. I get it. Yeah, maybe your pet's a little stupid. Maybe he didn't eat his brain food. Sure.
Maybe in the beginning.
Should ever be that bad.
Maybe when you start, like when you first start bringing it to battle. Okay, it's not the best. Whatever. But after a while, if I had this pet with me throughout the whole entire game, it should already get what's going on.
You'd think your pet would just learn to fight, but it just doesn't.
Anything else?
No. Nothing else about pets.
Okay. I have one more thing.
Okay.
So, I was told that when your pet levels up, you should go back, feed them again so that their stats can continue to grow. But when you're in a dungeon, you don't want to travel all the way back. One, it wastes time. Two, all of the battles. Now, they helped with the battle thing, but having to run back and forth every time your pet levels up to increase their stats to make them more useful, that's a bit monotonous.
Okay. You see, you remember that thing you were talking about earlier? Where you have people playing through an entire game without knowing how basic stuff works? And that's one of them. I didn't even know it worked that way.
You didn't?
No, not at all.
Wow. Well, again, I was privileged to have people in the chat to tell me that. So, yeah, I remember being in a dungeon several times, and like my monster would level up, and in my head I would be like, oh, I gotta go back and feed them. But then I'm like, I'm already at the top of this building. I'm not running all the way back down, feeding them, and then they'll probably level up again, and then I have to run back, and it's like, no, it's not worth it. Whenever I get back home is when you're eating.
I mean, alright, yeah, there are clear problems with that. And what I think the dumbest part about it is, you've got the fruit right in your bag.
Yeah, why can't we like
go to the barn to feed it?
I don't know if it would be nice to have like a go in your bag and just like feed your pet or like set up camp somewhere or whatever. I don't know.
Capable of eating outside? Like,
well, I don't know.
It wasn't good design. That's all.
Yeah, it you can tell that a lot of things. Was this game even play tested? I don't know.
I think it had to be, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's functional, so it had to be, but there's a lot of things that when you look at it, it's like, why was that done in that way? It felt like the person had a lot of ideas and was like, I love these ideas. And then when it was implemented, it was like, wow, there's a lot of ideas that aren't fleshed out all the way.
Exactly what this game feels like. A lot of good ideas, and then a lot of them are just so close to being well executed.
Okay, we already talked about objection. Anyways, Little Cactus. Now, this is not a big deal.
I know.
But do they tell you that Little Cactus records little like excerpts of each quest, or not quest, chapter when it's done?
Oh no, they don't tell you. You have to talk to Little Cactus after every single chapter, and then Little Cactus will be like, "Hey, cool, you told me about your tales." And then, okay. Now, I don't see why. Like, alright, here's the fix that at least I think would make sense. What is it? Instead of spawning you where you left off on the overworld, they'll just spawn you back in your house, so that you can easily get to Little Cactus. Or even having Little Cactus just, well, no, that takes away from the, what is it? I guess it takes away from the idea that Little Cactus is just a plant. Because at first when you talk to Little Cactus, you're like, hey, yo, it's just a plant in my room. And for some reason, I can talk to it. But then once you leave, he just runs out and he starts writing on his little leaf or whatever it is.
It would be nice if, like, there is a library in your room, not in your room, downstairs, to the dining room. Maybe like the book will tell you, like hey, Little Cactus. I don't know. I don't know. I just wish there was something that tells you that he does that or they do that, because we don't know.
Oh, no. I think there's a bigger problem with that, though. I think the problem is that after every single quest, you gotta go back to Little Cactus, talk to him again, and then get him to record. But, like, that really disrupts the flow of the game.
Yeah, and there's been times where I've forgotten, and I'm just like, oh. And I really use that to know which ones that I have done.
Yeah, of course. Especially using the walk.
Yeah. Also, another thing with it, I wish that there was an unread or new, like, little flashy thing next to it to tell me which one I read and which one I didn't. Because after a while, going back and being like, okay, so where is it? You know, you're scrolling, you're like, I think it's this one. You know?
Yeah, I got you.
So I think that would be nice to tell the player, like, hey, this one is something that you didn't read yet. And like, okay, so that has to be the latest one. Or at least tell you, like, this one is the newest one that was just recorded. Okay, good.
Oh, that makes sense. Good change.
Now, Golems. I never made one.
Same. I don't know much about it.
Well, if you're listening to this and you know stuff about Golems that you would like changed, let us know. I didn't use them because I was more focused on pets and weapons, and I felt like that Golems weren't really needed. I don't know. Maybe I identify more to animals than little robots.
Look,
I don't know.
if I gotta choose between a cute little dragon and a weird-looking machine every single time, I'm choosing the cute little dragon, and that's just how it is for me.
You heard it here first. Har the cute little dragon.
Oh, okay, sure, we're gonna call it that.
Okay. Magic.
Do you really think magic needs changes? I think it should cast instantly. I'm not gonna lie. Because I think the most frustrating thing is when you actually go to cast a spell, and then they just move out of your line.
Yep.
And you're just attacking nothing. Congrats.
You're basically wasting time. Again, I've noticed that magic is not strong. When it comes to weapons compared to magic, magic is boo boo poo poo. PPTT. So it's really not useful, and I feel like a game where it advertises you playing how you want. What if I want to use magic? I mean, I know this is a more action-based game and, you know, people want to play melee, but there are people who would like to use magic.
Yeah. And it's really not usable in its current form.
Yeah, another thing pertaining to magic, the little wizards that you get to live in your home, whatever.
Oh, Bud and I don't remember the name.
Lisa.
Lisa, there we go.
I think it's a bit weird that they are our underlings when the magic that we use, we can't do it on our own. We have to use an instrument, and even then the instrument's magic is not that strong.
Actually, hold up.
Now, I may be wrong, because obviously I'm not like, you know, an expert at this game.
Actually make powerful magic by upgrading your instruments. That's a whole different problem in itself.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just get into it. Crafting.
Smithing and what is it? I forget what the other one is. Whatever the armor one is. Smithing is awful. Terrible system.
When we say, we've been saying it all through this video, they have a lot of things in there that they just don't tell you about. When I tell you, this is the definition of, we not telling you anything, figure it out.
To this day, after so many years, people still haven't pinpointed the exact effects of smithing on weapons.
There is a video on YouTube that is an hour long, and in the beginning, you'll hear him say, I'm just going to explain this quickly. When I tell you, I had to go through so many websites to help find like a decent weapon, and this game is not that hard. You can use like the base weapons and still win. But I wanted to try it out. Well, not the base weapons, but you know what I mean, like stuff that you can buy. I looked through like different ways to like crafting, and I made a super powerful weapon. When I tell you, one, getting the items was like, oh my god. And two, having to do each step correctly, and that was a lot of steps.
Yep.
It can get a bit out of control when you're crafting stuff.
A bit? Only a bit?
This is... You have to be a mastermind. Your brain has to be a computer to figure this out.
I feel like it's more of trial and error over and over and over. I can't see another way to test it.
And again, if you are a first-time player and you know nothing about this game, crafting will... You won't understand it at all.
Just play the game.
Don't even try. Ignore it. Just... It boggles my mind how they can put something up there and it be so...
On the surface, it seems so simple. Put ingredient into weapon or armor and it gets stronger. No, sometimes it gets weaker. Why?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows why you put steak and infused it with your hammer and now it does -3 damage.
It just works that way for some reason.
And with all the secret like card effects and whatever like that, you wouldn't even know what that did if you didn't look it up, because it doesn't tell you. I didn't even try doing armor because, I mean, listen, if I could just poke him with a stick, it's good.
Yeah, right? I just gotta keep hitting. I don't gotta worry about it.
I really... Yeah, you really don't.
It's the biggest problem with the game, though. It needs an
Yeah.
entire overhaul.
Yeah. I feel like they're not going to touch it.
Of course not. I mean, obviously, yes.
But if there is going to be a remake, that needs to be heavily adjusted.
It's priority. I wouldn't say. I think I have to say number one.
I feel like it is, because when you, again, this is a game where you make your own game, basically. You make your own JRPG, and crafting is a part of that. And for it to be so difficult, really, you know, stirs you away from it.
I think, it's just really disappointing, because when you get out on, the smithing lab, or whatever it's called, what is it? You get really hyped because you can make some work. Watts makes some work. You got hit 1,000 times, it tells you everything about it. And I think that's the worst part.
Yeah, he actually tells you
everything about it like it's something simple, like anyone can do it. Just hit your hammer, it'll be fine. No, it won't. Watts lied to you.
I think that's the funniest thing about it, is that you can go through every option when talking to Watts, and then there is so much more.
You still won't understand a thing.
It's wild. Yeah, that needs, I don't know, that just... Whew. Anything else?
No, nothing else really.
Okay, well, moving on to introducing maps.
Introducing what?
Maps when it comes to dungeons.
Oh, yeah, and that...
I realized that when I was playing the game, and I was like, wait a minute. There's no map to tell me where I am. Now, granted, or where I need to be. I would love to open up the map and be like, this is where you need to be, and this is the way out.
Which map is it? I believe it's the jungle map?
Oh, junkyard or the jungle? Oh my god, yes, the jungle. Yes.
Awful map design. But no, actually, the map design wasn't awful. But not having a map in a map not having a map in a map like that.
Yeah.
It's awful, because there are little areas that you barely know that you can actually access. Because it's just like an opening in a patch of grass. Is that
True.
the background, or can I go through there?
True.
No.
You don't even know unless you are like hugging the edges of the map.
Yeah.
Which, even if you don't know that, I don't know, even if you can't see it, you won't know. I don't know.
If you had a map, you'd say, hey, look, there's a path that goes to this area. So
Yep.
it's gotta be somewhere around here, right? And you'd be able to make your way there eventually.
Or even if they want to be lazy and just put like a compass or something, at least let us know all of the ways to get out of it with the compass. Kind of like Grandia 2, where it tells you, like, when you get into a dungeon, it shows you this is the way out and this is the way to the next place.
Gotcha.
And the
show,
close,
like, every path on like the area that you can go to.
yeah. Or if you're in a town, like if you're looking for the inn or like the mayor's house or something like that,
Yeah.
like it'll point you there. And the closer that you get, there's like a little circle in the compass. It gets smaller the closer you get, and larger the farther you are. Now, I would want a map. Yeah, I want a map. I just want a map. But if they want to be lazy and just put a compass, listen.
Yeah, I feel like the map would be easier than that.
Yeah. Okay. Now, this is something that is specific to me. I mentioned this earlier. That demon dungeon place. I am terrible with names, everyone. So you all will know it, but I won't. I played this game once, but you know the demon. The really cool like demon dungeon with the dragoon path on the dragoon path.
Okay, what about that?
There was a glitch in the game where, and now this is entirely my fault. But also like they kind of should have programmed the game a little bit better. So, to get to a certain boss battle, you have to fall through the floor. Now, when you fall through that trap door, you're supposed to fight the boss. But what myself did, the boss, you know, like the little colors that happen when the boss battle's about to start? That happened and I left. So when I left, you can't walk back in. And then when you try to go back and, you know, fall through the trapdoor, it won't let you do it. So it only lets you fall through the trapdoor once. And then the game acknowledged that I fell through, and it acknowledged that I didn't beat the boss yet. So I was just stuck there. Now, obviously, I can still beat the game, whatever, like that. But if I wanted to see everything, I was just locked out of that. I couldn't continue that quest line.
I mean, it's just like a little bug. That's a pretty big bug. That's not a little bug. I'm just gonna say.
And that's why I was saying earlier that I wouldn't want the autosave, because if that is still in the game, that can possibly, I mean, if it happened to me, it can happen to anyone.
I was thinking more about just creating different things for different routes to see different stories without having to be 100%.
That's nice.
You know, autosave would actually mess with that. Hopefully you can actually turn off autosave so you can do that. So if I decide, hey, Elazul, I don't care about it anymore, then I
That's messed up.
Still go back.
Pearl is love, Pearl is life, Pearl is laugh.
The storyline is the best storyline.
It kinda is. Making boss battles more interesting / fun.
I think it needs to be done. Half the time when I'm doing boss battles, I'm just spamming one motion the whole time. It's not really entertaining.
It's basically hit boss, wait for them to flash, move out of the way, hit boss.
Yeah. You repeat until it's dead.
So, and it's, okay, again, I made that super powerful spear. Once I made that, boss battles were just regular battles, basically. But I feel like if they had like little gimmicks or like a certain mechanic, like, oh, this one is like a ghost boss, it can't be hit by physical. Well, that's a little too much. But yeah, but you know, something to make them more interesting, so it's just not like I poke with weapon and then you die.
I have because I don't remember any specific battle or what the battle was like. None of them stuck with me because none of them were interesting. It was all the same stuff over and over.
And even the final boss was like, okay, you were there and now you're not. It just didn't feel like a final boss to me.
Yeah, gotta be.
Anything else?
What is it? I think. Well, do you have any more topics to go?
I do. I just want to. Yeah, I feel like I was talking a lot.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You were speaking the same feelings I had about it, so I didn't feel the need to contribute.
Now, this pertains to a remake, not remaster. Remaster does not need it. Voice acting.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like a lot of these characters have, you know, a lot of personality in life, and voice acting would help portray that more.
Yeah, definitely. I'd kill to see Niccolo voice acting. Oh,
yeah. Yes. Now, do you think the protagonist should talk?
I've really started disliking silent protagonist games. But at the same time, I don't like when voices what at the same time I don't like when my character is voiced as well. I don't think the main character should be voiced.
Okay.
I just keep it like close to a Dragon Quest game.
I agree. I don't think that this one specifically should be voiced, but I also feel you when it comes to a lot of main characters just not saying anything.
I mean, like, yeah, just give me the dialogue options and I'll go through that, I guess.
I have like a whole thing on that, but that's another video.
Okay.
I really want to talk about this, but that's not until later. We don't want to get off topic. Next is speed up. So with a lot of remasters or ports from Square, they introduced a speed up mechanic. Do you think that this game needs it?
I don't think so. What part of the game would have to be sped up? Because I don't think the battles would really be that manageable sped up. And especially if you can skip them, then what's the big deal? Or if you're talking about like just speeding up movement, I guess that could be a little helpful, but I don't think it's entirely necessary.
I mean, maybe like moving around on the map, because it does take a while. But it's not anything like terrible.
No, it's nothing that bad.
And the last thing I have is the Dudbear language.
Well, what are we changing about them? They're perfect. They need
No.
change.
Okay. This is what I feel about the Dudbear. When you learn it, or when you're trying to learn it, for me, I had to like write everything down to make sure I'm doing it correctly. I feel like, and it's really funny because FF10 came out in 2001 and this one came out in 1999, but to the West in 2000. Very close together. With the Albed, when you first play FF10, you don't know their language, but when you progress through the game, you'll learn more about the language now. Again, the Dudbears are very minuscule compared to like the Albed in FF10, like that's, you know. But when you play New Game Plus, you know all the languages, you know all of the language already.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I think that would be something nice. I mean, you only have to learn Dudbear for that one quest, but there are Dudbears around in different places, and I mean, I would like to know what they're saying instead of just dud.
I mean, that's the thing. Dudbears, they're not very smart. They know like 4 different words. They don't have very much to say.
But here's the thing. I want to know what they're saying sometimes.
No, I agree. I still do want to know what they're saying. And I could not be bothered to actually remember the Dudbear language.
Look,
I committed to memory for like 2 seconds and then never used it again.
All you have to know is GAK.
Yep, that's it. GAK.
I want that voice acting. Anything else you would like to add? So I know you were very passionate about this game.
I think we addressed most of it. I think the biggest problem I have, not the biggest problem, the only problem that was unaddressed that I have is the fact that it's $30. And
Okay.
I don't think that's a good price point to introduce people to an old game at. People who never have seen this game or played it in their life, and it's an amazing game. I love this game. But people who have never seen this game or played it in their life aren't going to spend $30 to play an old PS1 game. Even if it is scaled up and the pixels look a little better now, it's not worth the price tag at all.
Yeah, and I've seen I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me, but the sprites being upresed, they kind of look like 3D stickers to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just so used to the way sprites look, but it kind of reminds me of you know, all of the little remasters that they do for mobile. That's what it reminds me of. Yeah, like a lot of the Square ones, they look too smooth. I think it was really apparent with the Saga Frontier one. It, I don't know, to me it looked a bit weird, but it might just be me. Because, you know, I'm very weird. But yes, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, no problem. I'm very passionate about this game, but you knew that already.
Yeah, well, where can the people find you?
Oh, twitch.tv/parpar. I mean, I don't stream that much right now, but you know.
I mean, I'm
Maybe
not
one
spending
day.
that much either, but you'll find everything in the description. Anywhere else you would like to link them to?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, thank you all for watching this almost an hour long video on
Almost
this
an hour?
game.
Oh man.
Well, it's 51 minutes, but I'll edit it. I'll edit it down. So
Well, at this point, might as well start a podcast.
basically, right? But thank you so much for all of you for viewing, and I will see you all next time. New out.